Michael Phelps is one of the most phenomenal swimmers of our time. The former competitive swimmer had brought in medal after medal for the US, and having his stamp of approval is a huge deal. In this video, we'll talk about how the Olympian gold medalist feels about a certain rising athlete, David Popovici, and how Phelps is convinced that he can break the 200-meter freestyle world record. Don't believe it? Keep watching to know more. First up, Michael Phelps thinks David Popovici can break a world record. So you know when you get praised by someone who's way out of your league and you kind of get that much needed ego boost that no one talks about? Well, it seems like it's David's lucky day, because apparently his swimming has impressed our former Olympian so much that he has full faith that this 18-year-old can break the world record for the 200-meter freestyle race. Now, if we're being honest, we think teenagers are super cool, but an 18-year-old who's got Michael Phelps' stamp of approval, well, they've just achieved god-level status. If you followed Phelps' career, then you pretty much know that he's the most decorated Olympian of all time. With 28 medals in his hand, he's made several records that kind of seem impossible to break at times. But bless his heart and humility, the athlete believes that the up-and-coming Romanian swimmer David Popovici has everything that it'll take to break his 200-meter freestyle record. If we're being honest, the youngster has had one heck of a year with his impressive numbers. And while we'll talk about that in a little bit, let's hear what exactly Michael said about David that's gotten the whole swimming community buzzing with excitement. In an interview with NBC, Michael shared what he felt about the young swimmer rising to the top. He said that if there was one person on this entire planet that can swim 200 meters under 1 minute and 42 seconds, then it's gotta be Popovici. Wow, now that's some high praise from the man himself. Up next, David's current stats. Now, when we say we truly believe every word coming out of Michael Phelps' mouth, we're not really lying. Everything he says is so intricately thought out, and if he says that David's gonna be a star, then you best believe we're Team David all the way from now. But if you're not one of those people who blindly follow someone and trust their word of mouth, then let the numbers do all the talking. The world record for the 200-meter freestyle race was once held by the Olympian himself, but since then, Paul Biedermann sort of took that spot from him and holds the crown for completely the length within 1 minute and 42 seconds. Currently, David holds the world record in the long course 100-meter freestyle and the junior world record in the long course 200-meter freestyle.
Secondo posto, Ungheria 47-47.
Popovici even took part in the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo, and while he couldn't be as successful as bringing back home a medal or two, he missed the chance to achieve that by 0.02 seconds. But for the players, even nanoseconds matter, but considering how consistent Popovici's numbers have been, 46.9, 47.0, 47.1, 47.2, then you might get a rough idea of how much potential this kid has. 46 seconds to cover 100 meters? Most songs even have longer bridges than that. And to put things into perspective, if you take 100 steps with an average stride, only then can you complete the same distance that David did for his world record. But bet it takes more than 45 seconds for you to do it. Moving on, let's go over some more facts about the rising Romanian. If you followed this video as a Phelps fan, or you're one of those people who love supporting new talent, we're now going to take a little inside look at the person who's blown away the god of water with his stupefying talent. Fair warning, you might emerge as a die-hard David fan by the end of this video. Up first, David used swimming to correct his back issue. Swimming is one of the most strenuous sports in history. Of course, every sport requires a little bit of physical activity, but when you're submerged underwater and are sort of combating water resistance, then you're pretty much the Hulk, only much less green.
First half of his discipline, you've got the thumbs up.
He broke the world record in the 100 meters backstroke, so well done.
But because every moment requires every muscle of your body to coordinate and work together, it kind of makes sense why some people even consider the sport to be therapeutic. Among those is David Popovici himself. Sometimes when you're young and inspired to do something, it has no other organic cause than your dream.
And David Popovici from Romania, just 17 years of age, but
for David, it was the fact that he wanted to correct a back issue of his that he had been struggling with. At the little age of 4, Popovici had already started swimming, and while his parents schemed him into doing it to tire out an easily bored child, and as luck would have it, as soon as David stepped foot into the water, it was as if the water body itself bowed down to him and accepted him as their conqueror. Turns out he was a natural in the water, and over time, it helped build his confidence too. So maybe there is a silver lining to everything. What's more, some people call him the Steph Curry of swimming.
I think being great is defined as as to what you leave behind.
There's no one on this earth who doesn't know Steph Curry, the pride and joy of the Golden State Warriors. This basketball player has proved his talent many times on the court. His fluid movements and agility made him stand out from the rest of the players, kind of exactly like David Popovici himself. At 1.9 meters, the athlete's wingspan is already at 2.05 meters, which makes him perfectly tailor-made for swimming. Two-time Olympian Brett Hawke also talked about David's impressive set of skills. He admitted that there are many layers to David and that he has a very unique gift of game. While most players work hard and sweat many tears, blood, and pain, it's the fact that the other players are just effortlessly born to be something that eventually has them breaking world records. Some people even say that he has an Anthony Irvin feel to it, and that seeing him swim sometimes makes them feel like they're watching Steph Curry shoot for the basket instead. They also admitted that since David's got a natural aquatic feel to him, it's hard for anyone to replicate his talent. And you know what? That's absolutely true. Coming up, he's just an ordinary guy doing extraordinary things. By now, we're sort of convinced that swimmers are the most humble lot of athletes. Shortly after Popovici won the men's 200-meter freestyle world title, many people asked him his secret of success. Of course, for a teenager to achieve such a big honor in the sport is truly a remarkable feat, but instead of getting giddy over his win, David had a very humble approach to the praise. The teenager replied back and smiled. He shared that because of his undying, fiery passion for swimming, everything became a little easier for him over time. Even though he's still testing the waters, we're pretty sure his natural-born talent will be the guiding light in his career, one that will bring him the right kind of success at any given time of the day. But just between us, if we could glide our way back through tides, high and low, we'd be pretty humble too, don't you think? Following up with his idols, Ian Thorpe and Michael Phelps. Of course, when you enter such a sport, even if you just wanted to stretch your back a bit, eventually you kind of start to enjoy the adrenaline rush and thrill. And while maintaining that momentum, you also start to look up to people who have been legends in the same field. We know Michael Phelps needs no introduction, but Ian Thorpe himself is a pretty dedicated swimmer too. On many occasions, David has expressed his wish of following in the pair's footsteps and becoming a multi-Olympic champion. And if we're being honest, given his average laps, he's probably going to break all records very soon. Last but not least, David's been a model student. Aside from being a fantastic swimmer, David has also been a very accomplished student. The freestyle specialist finds psychology particularly interesting to study, but we don't think he's going to pursue that professionally in the US anytime soon. He does want to complete his formal education in Romania though, and work on his chemistry with his coach. And while he finds the human mind and the way it works absolutely astonishing, for now his career as a swimmer seems like his top priority. And that's a wrap for today's video, my friends. What do you think about David Popovici? Do you think he's got what it takes to break the world record? Let us know what you think in the comment section down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, see you soon.